275,000 women left the workforce in January. And this is something that we can't continue to sustain. Why are women leaving the workforce during COVID-19? It is because their children, most of the time, in many of those cases, are not in school. There is not childcare available to support them. Those that are working with their children feel that they have to leave the workforce. And so they're stepping aside and they're putting their own goals to the rear and putting their children first to make sure that they are educating their children. That means years of income as they look to the future, they will be set behind their male peers. So we have to re-engage women. So how do we correct this? How do we get women back in the workforce during a pandemic? Well, we continue to open up the economy, but we put our kids first and we get them back to school. We can safely reopen our schools. Now, our children are suffering. Virtual learning is not the same as in-person learning. So not only are they falling behind academically, but their mental health is suffering. So we have to open those schools. What we have to do, though, is push on those public sector unions. They are putting their own interests first rather than focusing on the harm that this is doing to our children. Their political policies, their stances are not benefiting our children, and they are certainly not benefiting the women that have had to put their own futures aside. So kudos to Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa. Because of her and safely reopening our schools, our Iowa students have been back in school since last August. So I wish more states would follow our governor's example, safely reopen those schools, and make sure that we are considering our children and their future. So for heaven's sakes, folks, let's start reopening the economy and let's reopen our schools.